I think regret is disappointment and anger and sadness about a missed opportunity. It could have made your life better or made you happier.
Hi, I'm Apollo.
My name is Izzy.
Hi, I'm Natalie. Hi, Sarah. I think my biggest regret is letting myself get treated so poorly by an ex-friend of mine. We were friends for like 8 years, and I don't think I was ever happy with the friendship. She was never nice to me. I don't think she was ever nice to me at all. And I stayed friends with her for 8 years, so that kind of think. It's generally agreed that red is anger and blue is sadness. So to me, regret is kind of purple.
I'd say my biggest regret is not realizing when other people have wronged me or don't have the best intentions, or to simply put it, are extremely toxic for myself and my well-being. 5 words to describe the way this regret makes me feel is hopeless, anxious, paranoid, inconsequential, and useless. These words represent the way. These words represent my regret because, in a way, what these people have done to me have made me feel all of those things as myself as a person, or my situation, or just in general. Definitely lost sleep over it. That's one of the things I don't sleep in general, but I've lost sleep over this issue many times. It's ongoing, as is. It's one of those conditioned sort of things that you get indoctrinated into. Let's see. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a deep one. Okay. How has this regret changed my thought process when approaching everyday situations? Well, first of all, I'm going to tell you that I have trust issues, so I don't make friends that easily, and definitely can't love as freely as I used to. In mostly in out of fear that these sort of situations will happen again, or the worst part is that I might not be able to realize when this is happening to me, or be able to really stop it before anything goes wrong. So the most logical thing to do is to not try anymore. Yeah. And also, it infects any of my already established relationships. I know, um, in a much more toxic form, back when I was younger, which I pinpoint to be about elementary to middle school, which only ended by the beginning, the end of the first semester of my freshman year of high school, which was honestly not a very, which wasn't a very good wake up call because it did end up with me, you know, figuring out a sort of situation that a sort of mental condition that I had no idea that I had. I guess it's okay to name it. I learned that I have OSDD-1B, which is similar to DID, but there's no amnesic barriers between alters. So, hello, my name's Apollo, host of an OSDD-1B system named the cassette system, consisting of 23 alters and one subsystem. So, that's affected my life significantly, because now we're all having to work with how to live my life in general. because I've been allowed, since I'm host, I'm allowed to make decisions about a majority of the life, but also our co-host Alex, and a few other members of the system decide how to go about certain things or what to take up for. But I'm taking up airtime on this on this file. Do I have anything else? That's the last question, but I'll continue to elaborate. But one final thing that this has affected my daily life is how I view certain things in general, like relationships and being in relationships, romantic or otherwise, and in general the idea of other people. Yeah, but that's like a whole can of worms that I'd probably have to make more of these sort of videos myself to really get into.
I was asked to send my biggest regrets. Or regret, I should say. Singular, not plural. This is kind of been hard. This has kind of been hard for me to talk about, but over the summer, I had two extremely close family members, and they were in hospice. They passed away a couple weeks apart, and it was really hard. And my biggest regret connecting to that was, even though I was visiting them a lot, and I consider myself really close to them, I feel like I wasn't present enough when I was there. And I think this has really gotten to me, because I think if I fully allowed myself to be there for them, which I tried, but it was really hard watching them go through that. And maybe I would have been more comforting to them. I don't know if I have an actual explanation for why it was a regret of mine. It's just been weighing down on me a lot. And it has had an impact on me because I really did love them. I was really close with them. And I guess thinking about this a lot and regretting this a lot has really kind of impacted my healing process, or my grieving process, I guess I could say. And thinking about and trying to process it has been hard.
Natalie, what is your biggest regret?
I would say my biggest regret is letting myself get treated poorly by an ex-friend of mine. We were friends for like 8 years, and I don't think I was happy with the friendship for any of those 8 years. She would like steal from me and emotionally manipulate, that sort of thing. But I am happy that I got out of that eventually.
Alright, Apollo. What is your biggest regret?
My biggest regret would probably be not realizing when I've been hurt, because even what's going on recently, I have a friend who doesn't respect my personal boundaries and my autonomy as a person. Like, she would try to get me to go to places that I don't want to go to because I want to be with other people, or try to make me the center of her life even though I have other things going on, as well as many, many past traumas that we can't get into in one documentary.
I definitely relate to that. I would say one of my regrets that I didn't even think of until now is just letting myself get treated as just letting guys be guys at me, because I don't like that. And it makes me so uncomfortable, and my soul says, like, get out of this situation immediately, but I'm just too nice. I give away all my food. I don't eat. It's, yeah.
Izzy, what is your biggest regret?
Okay, so I kind of have one similar to them. I feel like in the past I just feel like I keep trying to make myself more likable to people, even though that's not something I should do, and I keep tolerating
water evaporates out of space and
yeah, especially by guys, and I let them get away with it, which is something I shouldn't do. But more specifically, one of my more recent regrets is I had two family members that are in hospice around the same time, and I feel like I was not as present, and I wasn't there for them in a way that I felt comfortable with. I wish I was there for them more, and I tried my best, but it's really hard to be present and try and really make sure that they know you're there for them and they can't even remember your name. And I felt like I was maybe just low-key silent.
A question for all of you. How have you ever shared this regret?
I don't think I've ever shared my personal regret with anyone. I share her sentiment. I didn't talk to my grandma at all. I don't know why, but my 8-year-old self really did not want to interact with my grandmother, and then she died, so I never had the chance to make a connection with her. And I have shared with my mother that I feel that way, but I always feel like I can't talk about my grandmother with my mom, because she always gets sad.
I've never given the full details to anyone personally, and I don't have the confidence to try.
I feel like at the time, my whole family was processing the emotions because we were really close to both of my family members who I lost over the summer. And I feel like I thought I was being selfish by having those emotions, and I didn't let myself process them in time, so when the time actually came to actually face them, I was really scared, and I felt like I could only share parts with people because I didn't know if they'd understand or if they would, what they would think about me, like why I was just hiding these things and doing and processing them the way I did.
A question for Apollo. How do you usually resolve the feeling of regret?
Repression. Repress it until you die. Well, recently now, I at least try to talk to one person that makes me happy, or what's the word for that? Use those emotions into something more productive, like doing my artwork or writing in a journal, or stuff like that.
As they say, just pretend your brain is made of tiny boxes and take
Take
the
a
box's
box
game
and crush it!
Okay?
I feel like in the past I definitely tried
On the
to
screen, sorry.
compartmentalize just parts of that experience that made me really uncomfortable, but I have been slowly trying to heal myself from losing them. I can kind of like open back up and look back at the moments and be like, okay, well, this happened for a reason. You can't repress it forever. You gotta face the music one time or another. I feel like this beginning of the school year, and even now, I'm still trying to heal myself, and part of that is in the past. With certain emotions, I used to joke, I'm like, I am an open book, but when it comes to this, I will not tell you anything, I will just repress all of my emotions. And I realized that when you're going through something like grief, you cannot do that. It can be extremely detrimental to your mental health and your healing process. So in the beginning, I did compartmentalize some of the aspects and some of the memories that are really important, even though it is uncomfortable, that you have to look back at it at one point or another. And right now I feel like I am at a place where I'm comfortable looking back at those memories and being like, okay, this is something that happened and it sucks, but now that we have acknowledged that it happened, we can move on.
Question for Natalie. Do you believe someone can have no regrets? Why?
I think it's in human nature to have regrets because any choice you make, there's something else you didn't do. And no matter who you are, even if your choice went well, there's always something in the back of your mind, something in the back of your mind that says, could this have gone better for me? Could I have done something else? Would that have been better? So I think nobody can have no regrets.
All right, so at this moment, there is a box next to you guys.
Oh my god, there's a box!
Natalie.
Look under your seats.
You get a box.
Oprah, come on out.
Natalie, can you grab that box and distribute
Oh my god, Ellen, no you didn't. Sorry, okay.
3 pieces of origami paper? What areas of your life has your regret made you feel stuck in?
I just helped him feel bad.
It's kind of hard to explain, but I'm going to try and explain it the best that I can. In the beginning of the year, I really kind of isolated myself because even though what happened over the summer, I lost my family members over the summer, coming back to school, it felt really weird because people's lives didn't change as much as I had. And I feel kind of bad saying that because I don't want to be like, my life is so hard compared to everyone else's, but I also know that I was doing a lot of stuff and I didn't want to drag my friends into it. Like every time I opened up even just a tiniest bit, I'd be like, I'm so sorry, like I know this is a lot for you, I'm trying not to impact all this on you. But when you have a good relationship with your friends and you trust them, you should be able to talk about your emotions because in my mind, if I didn't say what happened out loud, it kind of didn't happen, and that wasn't really healthy for me. So I had to learn to be able to actually articulate it and not just think it in my head or try to impress it. I had to actually say it out loud to myself and some of my close friends who know.
All right. The last question I am going to ask before we move on to the next step is for Natalie. Why did you choose this regret to talk about? Actually, this question is for all of you to answer.
I think there were a lot of regrets that came to my mind initially, but I wanted to do something deep, a little less surface level. One of my regrets that I was thinking of was I had tickets to see Be More Chill on Broadway, but the night before the trip I had like a major panic attack like thing, and I could not go in the morning. It would be at like 5 a.m. and I couldn't do that. So we ended up not going, and I felt so bad for one, spending the money and not actually getting the product, because I always feel bad about spending money. But also just generally missing out on something that I would have liked, I think. Although they do say Be More Chill on Broadway was bad, so
Maybe.
Okay, Apollo.
To be honest, I thought for a while, especially during the week, what I would say. I believe what I shared here today is the root of most of my issues that I have, and it's something that personally I feel like if I shared with someone else, or what's going to happen later, a whole bunch of other people online, I would be able to process that. I would be able to process that issue much easier than just trying.
The decision I made to talk about my regret is very important to me because this was something that was a relatively recent event that happened in my life, and obviously I have some regrets, but I really don't think they compare to this, and I think it's important for me to be able to talk about this because I was so close with them. I feel like I can kind of feel that they're with me now, and I think they wouldn't be upset with me for feeling the way I did while they were going through that.
So,
I cried during.
you guys will be able to talk about stuff during the next thing that we're going to do. I would like you guys to not work together, but create a visual representation with your origami paper of the way either your regret has made you feel or how you think of your regret. It can be anything.
Can I rip it up?
You can do anything to the paper. Apollo. Why did you choose to rip up your paper and do what you did for your representation of how it made you feel?
Well, I've always felt like I wanted to take all the emotions that I felt because of literally everything that was written on that paper and just get rid of it. Rip it up. It's gone. It doesn't affect you anymore. It's trash. And now it's trash. So I did it.
I forgot what class we were in. I just wanted to see. There was something about whether the glass was half full or half empty. What she did instead was how heavy is the glass. People said like 8 ounces, 7 ounces, like a water. And she said, here's the thing, if you think of this glass as your regrets, it gets heavier over time. If you hold it out like this for a minute, it's fine. An hour, maybe you're a little tired. A whole day, you're gonna, like, your arms are gonna go down. So keep holding on to your regrets and holding on to your past traumas.
I panicked, and because it's origami, I thought I should do the only thing I know how to do with origami paper and make a fortune teller. Because I could be like, well, this could be like, you could try it. I really don't know, and then I just tore it out. And so then I just tore it out. I'm sorry for copying you, Apollo, and being unoriginal. But
You're not a copy.
I feel like I'm ready to move on from this and just forget about it. So
Forget about it.
My final question. Has talking about this at this moment made you feel any better, like right now?
I would say yes. I feel like I don't feel as guilty as I did before, and I'm definitely more comfortable talking about it now. If anyone were to ask me about it, I mean, I don't know why they would ask me about it, but if they were going to, I would answer them.
I think, yeah, it's made it much easier to work through the certain issue because I've picked something that was so broad, but being able to break it down and talk about it in a safe space while I don't have anything, any other safe spaces at the current moment. Do I need to? I feel like it helps me be able to talk about it in a safe space when I don't have any at the moment to talk about it, and also being able to break down what I actually feel, and also being able to cry on camera openly. That helps.
Always.
No, I'm gonna start crying.
I'm crying.
Oh,
Now we're all
but
crying.
I'll pretend. I won't, but I'll pretend I am. I would say that this did help me. I don't think I've talked about most of these with anybody, and it also helped me because I realized some more regrets I have. While maybe thinking about your regrets isn't too helpful for some people, I think for me, knowing what they are so I can get rid of them definitely helps. Because without knowing, I just kind of feel a sense of existential dread.
Talk therapy.
Yeah. Oh. Are we making swans?
Oh, she's leaving.
I thought she was getting the basket.
Oh, she leaving.
Oh, she coming.
Oh, my trash can go in its proper place.
Wait.
No. hit her in the chest.
And now,
Trying to throw me in.
you guys are going to throw them away.
I was gonna say, do you want me to
I
like
was
throw
gonna
it
do
from
it
here?
I'm gonna put it with the branches.
I kind of like
Here, I gotta walk around the table. Hello, audience.
Let it decompose.
Hello. Decompose. Got stuck on a rosemary. Turn into a soil.
Say your final words.
Final words.
Say what you need to say. Your last things. If you just want to say goodbye, that's fine.
I think this was helpful. Thank you for doing this, honestly, and thank you guys for being so supportive and nice.
I appreciate the opportunity to get to do this, and also now I have met you.
My name's
I
Natalie.
can't snap. And I get to talk more to you, friend.
We haven't talked about this before, even though we're friends. But
I know.
it's not weird. It's good, but crazy.
It's
different.
Are we officially able to? We're on the friendship level. Are we We're on the friendship level where we can just like rant.
Yeah.
We're at the friendship level where I can tell you all about my dad.
Oh boy.
We're on the friendship level where every time I walk into French class, I just go over to her them engineering, and I'm like,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna mention to the audience. Hello, I'm demi non-binary. Use they, them, he, him.
interesting. Sorry, I'm trying to think.
You're allowed to say just goodbye.
Okay.
You can just say goodbye. It doesn't have to
I think
be.
this is really great for me because now, like, if I have to cry in French with them and today, I'll just cry and it'll be okay, and I can just, I don't know. It was nice to talk about my feelings because sometimes we don't like to do that, but we have to.
Okay, guys. Say goodbye to the viewers.
Goodbye, YouTube.
So, hi, you probably saw my face already, or this is the first time you're seeing my face, depending on how we're doing that. I don't know. But yeah, I'm demi non-binary, using they, them, he, him pronouns. So, haha, hello. Let's see. Oh. So I would definitely do something like this again. It's a great experience to have, being able to, first of all, meet and or further a bond between another person that I know, and being able to talk about stuff that honestly I haven't been able to talk to about much. And also, just now that I'm generally less camera shy, this works very well for me. One word to describe my experience is insightful, because beforehand I've never experienced anything like this, like being able to talk about my trauma like verbally instead of, because typically I would usually just go through text or just don't say anything at all because that's me. But I would say it's insightful because I get to look into how other people feel about their issues, as well as learning a little bit more about how I actually feel about the things that have happened to me. Last thing, did this help me? I would say this thing that Sarah has done for us was very helpful for me to work through my issues and figure out how exactly to go about in the future and who I can or cannot trust with that's in my future endeavors. So yeah.
I was one of the people, not interviewed, but I was in the film, and I am here to talk about my experience. I had a very positive experience in the beginning. I don't know if you can notice, but I was shaking my legs a lot under the table, which is something I do when I'm really nervous. And I was extremely nervous in the beginning of filming it. But as it progressed, I felt like it really allowed me to open myself up more and talk about this because it has been on my mind a lot. And I really liked that. I felt like I was in a judgment-free zone and I wasn't being forced to share, but I was comfortable with sharing, and I was encouraged to, which was really nice. I think what I got out of it was being able to say your struggles out loud and admit them out loud to yourself and others makes whatever struggle you're going through a lot easier, and you can process it better instead of just internalizing it. And that's really important. And I think that filming this has really helped me because for a while I didn't really want to talk about it. I was ready to just move on because I thought it was over. I thought I was done processing it, and I thought I was done grieving. But I wasn't. And so I really am thankful for being able to share.
Before this event, I was kind of apprehensive about the whole thing. I don't like sharing my regrets with other people. I think I'd be fine posting it on YouTube because I wouldn't actually have to see people's reactions, but in real life it's kind of spooky. But after, I made a new friend and they're super nice. So I think it was a really good experience.